What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Dynasty Show. Just me tonight, Stevie B. No Hammer. We've got the NFL draft coming up in literally 2 days. 2 days time, we got the NFL draft coming up. Is what kind of we've all been waiting for a long time now, since Super Bowl. Basically, we've done a ton of rookie drafts. We've done a ton of looking into players that are coming into the NFL draft, coming into the NFL now, and what we think of them. And now we're going to see what the NFL thinks of these guys. We're going to have the landing spots of some of these guys we've been talking about and coveting for the longest time: the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, especially these big three wide receivers coming out. A lot of people have them very high up in their dynasty rankings. The value is insane. These early draft picks, even some of the mid draft picks to the late ones now, with how deep the wide receivers are, how deep the quarterbacks could be if we wind up seeing like 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks go in the first round of the NFL draft. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens up front. A lot of talk with the Patriots, Cardinals, Chargers, teams that may want to trade out of there. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What's happening early in this draft? Is New England trading out? Is Arizona trading out? Like, are they willing to give up Marvin right there? There goes the chat. Emil, chaotic. What is up? 60% of the time it works. I wonder where Marvin Harrison will go. We're all wondering where Marvin Harrison will go. It's possible he goes 3 to the Patriots. It's possible another team trades up to get Marvin Harrison. There's talk now of like the Chicago Bears really want Marvin Harrison. I don't know why they would want to move up and waste assets because they've got the 9 pick. Like they can still they're still probably in line to get Odunze at that point at the 9 pick. Or do you wait and take some of these later round receivers, take somebody in the second, take somebody in the third? A lot of good receivers that are coming in, so you don't have to go after Marvin. If you can get one of those 3 guys, I don't see why they would want to move up to go grab Marvin. Like, I think we all wanna see him go to the Cardinals, like, that's the easiest spot, like, early on, or does he go to the Chargers? Maybe the Cardinals do trade out of that pick, and then the Chargers are up. The Chargers take Marvin in that case, and then maybe Neighbors goes to the Giants at that next pick there. Maybe the Titans go Odunze, and then the Bears don't get one of those top 3 wide receivers. Maybe that's why they wanna move up. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think Chicago's actually gonna move up to grab Marvin? Is it possible Odunze's not there at 9? Like, all 3 of these guys go in the top 8 picks? Mm. I don't see at why Arizona wouldn't wanna take Marvin, unless there's some kinda package that works that makes sense for them, to move down, but, and there's a lot of rumors that are going on. We'll talk about some of the stuff. Arizona takes Marvin. We're hoping Chargers are trading up for Marvin. Is it worth them trading up to go get Marvin if you can still get, like, a Neighbors or an Odunze there? Does it make sense to, like, waste whatever assets you need to waste to go to move up? I don't think it's worth it for the Chargers to do that. JC, what's up, JC? I have 12, 13, 14 in my rookie draft Sunday. Okay. Yeah, a lot of drafts are gonna be coming out, this weekend. A lot of drafts are this weekend. So, NFL draft will come out, that first round, at least second round, Thursday, Friday. I'll try and at least, like, by the end of Friday, Saturday morning to have out, like, rankings now that we have the spots. Debating on trying to package them or staying put, drafting 3 solid rookies. I mean, you have 12, 13, and 14. So is that considered like the 201 and 202, 13 and 14, or maybe it's a 14-team league? Um, there's a couple things you can do with those picks. I don't know what your situation is as far as your roster construction or your team right now, but the later picks that you have, the 109s, the 110s, the 111s, the 112s, like, can you push those out and get 25 first if you can? And again, depends on what you wanna do or what strategy you wanna use. You can make all of these picks if you want. Like, this is a class that, like, there's a pretty good tier, like, after, so you have 12, 13, 14, take your stab at 3 guys and hope that one of those guys or 2 of those guys turn into something. So you're in, like, a good range where, like, you could take 3 solid dudes, and depending how deep, like, your league is, can you use some of those picks to tier up? Like, what wide receivers do you have? What running backs do you have? Can you take that pick 12 and add it on to a wide receiver that you have, package it up to tier up? Can you take the 13? Can you take the 14? Same thing. Package it onto a player and try and tier up at a position. That's most likely what I would rather try and do, especially if you have some of those, like, mid-tiering, like, wide receiver 2s. Diaz in the building. What up, Diaz? Sleeper QB, RB, wide receiver. I mean, for QB, it's tough. I don't really know anybody outside of, like, Bo Nix. After, like, Bo Nix, like, you get Penix and Nix. Like, after that, I'm not really trying to bet on anybody after those guys. If I had to say sleeper, it would be, like, Penix or Nix, some of the guys that are talking about, like, in the middle of the first or later first round. If we're talking about running backs, if you follow me on Instagram, I've got a few guys out there: Vidal, Rasheen Ali, Dylan Lobb, wide receivers. If you want to go really deep, like Jalen Coker, I just posted a few. But there's a big tier of wide receivers that's like after wide receiver 5-ish. Like, really just depends on where some of these guys wind up. Same thing for running back. So, like, the draft is going to tell us a lot because, especially in Dynasty, like, we always do say that the talent, right? Talent over situation, and that is particularly true, for the most part. But that's mainly almost for, like, elite talent. Like, if you don't have that elite talent, like, you do kinda gotta end up in a decent spot, like somebody that's gonna develop you or give you a chance to have an opportunity. But for some of the elite prospects, like, you do wanna go with a talent over the situation because at the end, sometimes most of the time, it will rule out, but you have to understand the situation, and it might not work out right away. Like, we see that with JSN right now, right? Are you going to Chargers, Niners taking Marv. Okay, I could see that. There is a lot of Ayuk talk going around. Ayuk, Higgins, right? Guys that are being talked about right now. As we're going into the draft, these are 2 names, both of those guys, Ayuk and Higgins. Can these guys get traded on NFL draft day, right? We saw, when it happened with AJ Brown. What's gonna happen what's gonna happen this year? There's all this cryptic stuff going on and everything's getting heated up. So We'll see what happens come draft day. Marvin will be the new Larry Fitz. I can see that. I like Marvin. Larry was also just underrated. I mean, if he had, like, a great QB for, more time in his career, he could have done a lot more damage. But yeah, Larry Fitz was a beast. Mr. Bakes a lot. What up? What up, Bakes a lot? Personally, don't think there's a huge gap between Harrison or Neighbors. So if they can trade down and still get Neighbors, and I would do it. Yeah, I agree 100%. As long as you can get one of those 3 guys, I think you're good. It also depends kinda what you need, right? What you need for your team. I got the 101 and 102 going to Marvin Harrison and possibly Caleb, looking to trade for more 2 to package with Caleb. You mean go after DJ Moore? Like, I don't know if I necessarily just wanna go after DJ Moore because I'm gonna have Caleb. Like, don't force things like that because then you just kinda put yourself in bad situations. Like, you don't have to go and get DJ Moore. You can get somebody in that particular tier, depending what it costs you, okay, fine, you can go get DJ Moore, but yeah, I mean, you should be going Marv and Caleb with 101, 102. I'm in the same situation in 2 of my leagues, 101 and 102, and I'm going Marvin and Caleb as well. Bogey in the building. What up, Bogey? Isaac, what's good, Isaac? Can you see my comment thinking I got banned? Isaac, did I miss it? My bad if I missed it, Isaac. No, I didn't see any comment before this one that you just put, but I can see you right now, Isaac. Why'd you get banned? JC 112 2012. Okay, I figured that. I was thinking of packaging one or two of those picks in Jameson because I have Bijan, Garrett Wilson. After them, I have a step drop off in talent. So yeah, you can try and tier up or just make those pay. If that all you have is like Garrett Wilson and Jameson Williams, I mean, you can try and tier up if possible with some other guys, but otherwise maybe you just make those picks because you need some of those guys to hit if this is all you got. Drop boy, what's good with Cousins on the Falcons now? Do you think they take Turner at 8 or does Drake or McCarthy sign? I don't know, to be honest. I don't think they wanna waste it on a quarterback. Now, do they wanna go like that old school route or that Packer route where they have somebody sit behind Cousins and do that whole ordeal? We've seen how successful it can be when you're not, like, forcing these rookie quarterbacks to just jump right in, so I think it's a possibility, but I don't know. Think it's a possibility, but I don't know. If one of those guys falls, maybe they could feel like it's a luxury to be able to take one of those guys there, but I think they might want to address other areas. Maybe they just roll with Cousins for now and say, "Fuck it, we'll worry about quarterback later on." I don't want to waste this pick on a quarterback when like we have one right now. So, what up, Kev? Still trying to wake some of my leagues up 2 days. Still draft peeps unresponsive to trades. Yeah, it sucks when peeps are unresponsive to trades. Especially when you're playing in like some 1 QB leagues. Like I play in 2 of these 1 QB leagues. One is a 14 team, um, and one is not, but one is a 12 team. But the 1 QB leagues, there's just not a lot happening. It's very just like dormant for the most part. There's not a lot happening. But in Superflex, you see a lot more people trade, and then once one trade goes down, like then people start getting the fever, and then you might see some offers going out. Once one gets done, sometimes you see a string of them come through, so need to trade them back for wide receivers. Oh, that was probably going to the 112, 201, 202. Yeah, you could do that too. If you can trade back, pick up some more, the more chances that you have to grab some of those second round wide receivers, if that's all you have. But let me know who else you got on that squad. Ayuk is a good run blocker. Harbaugh wants that. Niners need cap relief. That's true. That's true. Do they wind up giving up Ayuk? Whew. Would you take the 109, 207, and 208 and give up Brees Hall? No, I'm not giving up Brees Hall for that. I need more than that if I'm going to give up Brees. Not for 2 shots at 7 and 8 and a 109. No, I need more for Brees. I'll hold on to Brees for that. You also have Bijan. Yeah, listen, Bijan, Brees, I mean, they're at the top of the chain. I mean, you should be able to get a haul for those guys, or cheer off to one of the, elite players at wide receiver or quarterback if you need, you know? Yeah, Keenan. Shadow banning is for real, kinda like sneak this. Right now, I'm starting to line up next year would be Jordan Love, Bijan, Chubb, Wilson, Wicks, Jameson, Flex, Aaron Rodgers, Najee, Pitts. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you definitely need a string of wide receivers there, so you're gonna have a few shots, but yeah, Diaz's idea is a good one, so see if you can move back, one or both of those, can you get some more second round picks with that? Somebody that wants to move up. It's a good idea. I don't know what you did, Isaac. I don't know. I don't know, but, thankfully you're back, so good thing you're back. Trying to trade an OG league, can I get a text back? Who are you trying to trade with, me? I didn't see nothing in my, I don't see nothing, Diaz. Giants are interested in moving up for May. I mean, listen, we're getting close to the draft. There's crazy rumors going everywhere, and at this point, it's kind of like, all right, whatever. Like we know that there's possibilities of other teams trying to move up and grab some of these quarterbacks, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. I mean, and are some of these guys just being pushed up like for no reason? I mean, JJ McCarthy, Drake May. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Penix, Nix. I mean, all these guys, they could go literally all in the first like 15 picks possibly. I mean, for me as a Viking fan, like I like Penix. Um, I do, but I know we like Drake May a lot also. So are we the team that moves up? Like I'd like to just keep the assets. Like I don't like I'd rather just stay at 11, take Penix at 11 and be fucking happy with that. We still got pick 23. We can make another pick there. Like for me, that's what I'd like to see the Vikings do, but JC said, "If I can't make a deal, I'm thinking about just going 3 straight wide receivers and hope at least 2 hit." Yeah, I mean, see what situations are there, and don't be afraid to go running back too, just for the value of it. I mean, you don't know who's gonna fall there, or we'll see who winds up there. But yeah, if you can take 3 straight wide receivers there, but at least one of those picks, like, definitely try and move back, like, and pick up 2 more shots. Like, can you pick up 2 more shots at, like, the 207 and 209 or some shit like that? Now you got 4 shots, right? Can you split another one into 2? But yeah, check all the teams, go into your league, check all the teams, check all their picks. Who's got multiple second round picks that might want to move up because that will help you, you moving back. So who's got two picks in the second round that might want to move up? Would you rather have May or McCarthy in Minnesota? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, quarterback is such a tricky position to evaluate. I'm no damn scout. The NFL gets it wrong most of the damn time. I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, I like Penix because I feel like he can just throw the football. He throws the football well, and, like, he's decently smart, and I feel like the Vikings, we have some players around us. We've got JJ, we've got Addison, we've got Hawkinson, we've got some guys that can play. We just need a quarterback to kinda run the offense that can throw the ball, and I like Penix for that. Not that May or McCarthy can't throw the ball, but I like the way the lefty throws it. I don't know. But, like, we don't need much, like, we don't need anybody to come in and be some kinda savior, like, you just gotta be decent enough and manage the game. McCarthy's been known to manage the game, so, does that help us? Like, I don't wanna move up, like, that's the I'll take May or McCarthy, but, like, at 11, like, I don't wanna move up to get any of those guys, like, that's my real feeling, like, I just don't wanna move up, that's all. I don't wanna move up, like, I wanna keep that 23 pick too. Jamie, what up, Jamie? I would just wait and see if they don't get a QB, take Neighbors. 5 spots left on my team and 9 picks trying to package my 301, 302, and 308, 310 to move up more. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a lot of those situations too where I've got just a bunch of picks. So, yeah, see you can see if you can move up with some of those picks. See if you can buy some running backs with a couple of those thirds, a few of those thirds. See if you can buy maybe some QBs, backup QBs. See if you can move those picks to next year. Right? Can you move those picks to next year picks? Just random thirds. Can you package a few of those thirds up and then, try and get a second? Add something else on top of that, try and get somebody a 25 second. Like, try and push them to next year because then you're gonna have ammunition during the season to go and buy players if you need to. So that's what I'd be looking to do there. Team looks like, okay, Stroud, Jacobs, Kyron, Pittman, Collins, Kincaid, Flex, St. Brown, and DJ Moore, Superflex Richardson. Okay. Also got the 101, 110, 205, 206. I won last year, so hoping to repeat. Yeah, I mean, shit. The team looks good. I mean, you're in good shape. You're in good shape. But yeah, move some of those thirds for some backup RBs. See if you can push some out to next year. You've got the 101, the 110. I mean, can you push that out for a 25 first? Like you won the ship. Like, I mean, so just a random 25 first. Or can you tier up with that, like with DJ Moore? Like, can you get to the next level? The 110 and DJ Moore? It seems still kinda shallow enough. I mean, 2 wide receivers, 2 flexes, okay. But, yeah, that's what I'd kinda be looking to do there. Can we tier up from DJ Moore? Tier up from Collins? Like, can we get to the next level? Pittman? That's probably what I'd be looking there. What about the 202 for the 212, 302, 303? A little farther than you said, but will get me more chances too. Yeah, I mean, you still have that's a little too far, but that might be a little too far. Keep on trying. I'm not settling. I don't want to just settle for that right now. Like I'm keep on trying for you are moving back a little bit and you are getting 3 more shots out of 1, but I wouldn't stop there. If that's the best that you can find, then I'd go with that, but that's like last resort. I keep on trying. See who else has something. Made a trade today, gave up the 101 and ETN. 101 and ETN for 301, the 104 and Gibbs. Okay, so you moved back 3 spots. And you went from ETN to Gibbs. Okay, first 3 picks all need QB, so I'll get Marvin Harrison or Neighbors at 104. Was gonna take one of them with the 101 anyway. Alright, so you got the Gibbs over ETN, I'll take it. If you're guaranteed the wide receiver and you didn't need the quarterback, then I'm alright with it. I want the Raiders to move back as well. I mean, I don't necessarily want the Vikings to move back, I just I just don't want us to move up is my thing. Heard him most at RB. I got Javonte and Zamir as backups. And for wide receiver, I got Smith, Watson, and Hopkins. Okay. Yeah, just use them to tear up if you can, because you've got like great starters at every position. Like your worst starter is what, DJ Moore, Collins, Pittman. Only second round will be 204, 205. Okay, see if that works. Maybe that guy wants to move up. What did you have? The one, what was it? The 112. See if that guy will move from the to like the 201 for the 204 for the 205. See what you can get there. I'd work that. Like that's a good range where that guy just might want to move up and consolidate into one pick. I don't know. Check that out. That's a good one. I bought those picks. My team's competitive in that league. Came in third last year. That's good. I think Minshew or Aiden starts. I can't see Minshew not starting after what he showed. Yeah, I mean, and I guess the contract they gave him too. I mean, if I had to guess, my money's on Minshew. I mean, they've seen Aiden play. Like, I mean, he's okay. So I would think Minshew. I would think Minshew. Mr. Bakes lot. Where does Kyron rank for you in Dynasty RBs and overall? I think we did Dynasty rankings, what, a month or so ago? So at that particular time, which was 2 months ago, I haven't updated it since February. We'll get updated after the draft. I had him at like RB 7-ish, 7, 8, right in that range. I like Kyron, but I don't know how long this run is going to last. He's got to stay healthy on top of that. He's just an outlier, and it's hard to bet on out. Like I'm okay with missing out on an outlier, but I'm not just gonna keep betting on outliers that the percentages are just not good. It's just you're wanting to just lose the bet. Like there's no like I'm okay with missing the outlier. And Kyron was one of those guys, one of those outlier guys. So, for me, Kyron is a sell. We've been talking about selling some of these running backs. Kyron, HN, guys that just are valued very, very high right now, valued as top 6, 7 backs in Dynasty. And if you can take advantage of that value and come off, get yourself a wide receiver, get yourself a quarterback, and get you in the conversation of elite players. And it's not that I don't like Kyron or I don't like HN. The fact is that you're just valued very high, and we just wanna play the market, that's all. We wanna come off. Can I get some assets? Can I get somebody else in that particular same tier that maybe I like a little bit better or feel a little bit more comfortable with and get some kind of asset on top of it so that I can make my team better? The guy that has those picks is trying to win this year and has traded all picks except those 2 and is shopping JSN because he's not as win now too. Okay, shopping JSN. Can you ship a couple? What about Chubb, Jameson, 201 for JSN, 204, 205? Chubb, Jameson, and the 201. Yeah, I definitely do that if that's possible for JSN. But you wanna and you get the 204 and the 205. Yeah, I'd do that. You're still getting the picks, and you're getting the 204 and the 205, and you're coming off a Chubb who's not really worth not really worth much. If you can do that, yeah, I mean, send it and see. If that guy likes Chubb, I mean, or Jameson, at least start the combo. He desperately needs a starting running back. I don't know if I would even classify Chubb as a starting running back, but if he wants him, I mean, who was their other running back? Didn't you have who was the running back that you had? Like, you have Bijan, like, I mean, you could use Bijan as your anchor if you want. You still got Garrett. I mean, you're not in horrible shape. You got Jordan Love, but you still need another quarterback because you only got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Bijan could be a candidate to be traded. Pitts, can you cheer down from Pitts? Pick up assets. Can you cheer off of Bijan into a wide receiver or a quarterback? Like, you have some options that you can play with. So you got some options. I did ask for any kind of dynasty questions where I had a few questions that people had asked. One of them was like, what is Puka's value going forward? So Puka is what, dynasty wide receiver 5-ish to 8-ish in most people's rankings. Wide receiver 6 on Keep Trade Cut right now, right after Marvin Harrison Jr. and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Puka had a sick season, but was that the was that the best season we're gonna see? Was that the peak? I think value-wise, he's kinda at his peak right now, right? Is there any chance he goes ahead of an Amon-Ra, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson? Like, there's not much he can go up, right? So is he at that peak where it might be a good idea to sell right now? Again, not because we don't like Puka, not because I don't like Puka, I like Puka, but is Cooper Kupp gonna miss a bunch of games like he did last year? Is Matt Stafford gonna stay healthy? Are the Rams gonna be competitive? Like, there's a lot of things that have to go right for Puka to maintain his value. He's gotta finish again as a top, what, 10 wide receiver pretty much? I mean, if he doesn't finish in the top 10, if he finishes like, 18, 20, wide receiver 2 range, like, his value is gonna go down. His dynasty value is gonna go down a little bit. So is it time to just come off of Puka and get somebody else in that range that, has a better chance of maintaining that value? Can you use Puka to get up into the next tier, the Amon-Ra's, the Chases, CDs, and Jefferson? Can you tier down from Puka if you want? Pick up some assets, right? Can you go to the Olaves, Londons, Waddles, Devontas, Pittmans, like, depending on what you need on your team? And we're just talking about trading them just for the value aspect, not because we don't believe in them, not because we don't like them. But for Puka going forward, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Stafford has to stay healthy. Right? What happens when Stafford like retires? Like, what if Cup stays healthy the whole season next year? Can we expect Puka to still give us that same production? And Stafford is like iffy every year. Like, we just don't know. So once Stafford's gone, what happens at the quarterback position there? What does Puka start putting up then? He's in this tier with a bunch of guys that just fluctuate in that tier, by their situation, what quarterbacks are on their team, what other wide receivers are on their team, and they just all fluctuate in just this huge tier. But what are you guys thinking about Puka going forward? I mean, is it time to sell? Is he at the peak where, like, that's a sell for us? It's hard to buy him. Like, he cost a lot to buy. Where was I at in the questions here? His RBs are Stevenson, Spears, Chandler, and Spiller. Want to see if he's desperate enough to do it. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, there's no hurt in sending it. I mean, the worst he can do is just decline it or counter it. So at least you're getting the conversation started to see what's happening there. But otherwise, I mean, Puka is worth at base an early first, early to midish, 103, 104 ish. Puka is an outlier too. Puka's an outlier too. And a lot of people are going to be trying to find the next Puka, but if you look back over the last however many years, 10, 15, 20 years, like you can see that Puka is an outlier where the spot that he was drafted at. Minnesota secondary. I mean, yeah, we hopefully we address defense and we could early. That's why I don't want to move up and waste the pick. Like I want to be able to get a quarterback at 11 if we can and then um use that 23 on defense. But I don't know what we're gonna wind up looking like. We'll see what happens in the draft here. But I feel like our defense was a lot better than what I expected, and we're gonna need them to fucking hopefully to carry us, but hopefully the offense is good. I mean, well, what can we expect from Sam Darnold? What can we expect from a rookie quarterback coming in, right? There's gonna be some growing pains, obviously. So the defense has got to play well. Superflex, I feel like I can get an elite QB for Puka. He is the future. Yeah, you can get an elite Q. That's what I'm saying. Use him to tier up at another position. Get yourself a QB. Like it's not easy to have a wide receiver that gets you in the conversation like of a quarterback. And Puka is one of those guys. If you can get Puka for cheap, then of course I'd love to buy Puka. It just depends on what you got to pay, right? We want to sell him at his peak right now. A rookie just finished crazy. Um, really did his thing in the rookie season, so we can expect a lot out of Puka. And you know how Puka is dirty and he's here to stay. He's just great. When you saw him start playing with no gloves, just straight fingers, fingertips, hands, when you see him go like that with no gloves, that's a real wide receiver right there. Another league of my QBs Hurts, Howell, Daniel Jones, Minshew, and O'Connell. Yeah, that's pretty bad. But you do have Hurts, so he's carrying the way. I mean, just gotta hope one of these other guys starts. I mean, whether it's Minshew or Daniel Jones, like maybe you can get along for another season with like decent quarterback play if these guys wind up playing like even the whole season. Like that's the other thing. Like there's a chance these guys don't even play the whole season, like Daniel Jones, Minshew. Oh, you've got Mingo, Pittman, Reed, Jameson, Joku, Musgrave, Kincaid. Okay. PB Dubs, what's up? Straight fingers is crazy. Oh shit. Really wanted to trade up and get Brian Thomas, but the 104 said he's taking him there. And as much as I like him as a prospect, I don't really want to spend what's needed to get to 103 to take him. So is this one quarterback? Am I bugging right now? Is it one quarterback, JC? I thought it was super flex, but. And don't get stuck on the name and I'm taking this guy there. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen. Like, wait for these spots to happen. Maybe Brian Thomas just doesn't go to a good spot, and then maybe you wanna take the Dallas running back instead at the 104 in a 1 QB league. Because after the 103, like, it's all super flex, but I have to trade to 103 to jump him. To get Brian Tom Why would you get Brian Thomas at the 103, 104? I mean, you should have the quarterbacks up there. You should have the 3 other wide receivers, right? Brian Thomas would is technically that 4th wide receiver. Um, I'm not doing that. Don't jump up. Don't be stuck on just you have to draft that one player. I'd rather keep him or give me the more. Yeah, exactly. You're either keeping Puka because like you don't need to trade him, or if you do want to trade him, if you're somebody that just wants to split up the assets and you got to make your team better, depending on your team, your roster construction, then that's all gonna matter. But yeah, you're either keeping them or you're trading them away for a haul. So like, on my ego, what's good? Chiefs Kingdom, have no fear. The waffle is here, three-peating. I'm with you on that. I mean, Mahomes is doing his thing. I don't have Hurts. My QB room. Oh, your QB room hurts. My bad. Personally, I misread that. Then, yeah, that's pretty bad, man. You got to gut everything. You got nothing. That ain't looking good. Puka reminds me of Thielen. Yeah, I mean, Thielen was a good white boy, but Puka is different though. Puka's different. So Puka hide a pops in the league, then flip that pick for McCaffrey. Okay. Had a few great years in Minnesota. Yeah. Gotta be one QB or we are hitting it too hard. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, you want to take the best player available at that point. I'm not just don't just get set on I gotta have Brian Thomas here. 108, 112 should be able to grab two possibly. Yeah, when are y'all drafts? Like, do you guys have drafts that are coming up? Like, I think most of my drafts are this weekend. Like, yeah, most of my drafts are this weekend. And then I have a few that don't start until later on. But for the most part, I've got all my drafts coming up. So, and it's quick right after the NFL draft. Like, you got no time to see training camp. You got no time to see who makes it, who doesn't, who got hurt. You got no choice. You got to make the pick. Got to make the pick. Yep. No time to think about it. Your initial thoughts are that's it. It is what it is. JC says Sunday night. Yep. Hella early. Right, Song? This weekend or next, Kevin said, yeah, man. Most of like in 70 days, damn. You said you got time personally. Your main one is next weekend. Yeah. 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 Sam, I tell you, as a Viking fan, I don't want him to trade up. I really don't. I don't want to trade up to get one of those quarterbacks. I'd rather just wait and live with like Penix or Nix and grab, another defensive guy in the first round. I don't want to move up to get a quarterback. I really don't. I hope that we don't, but we might. I just don't feel like those guys are worth moving up for. That's all. If they fall, they fall. Like, I'll take them, but I don't want to move up for JJ. I don't want to move up for McCarthy. I do not. Mm. I don't think I do it. Yeah, man. What sleepers you got? Worked with Tyrone Tracy's dad. Told him today I need your son to be a sleeper. Yeah. I mean, if you follow on Instagram, which should be in, any of the descriptions in any of my videos, I also just did the interview with Matt Waldman, so we talked about a lot of guys there, so if you haven't seen that, go check that out. It's a little bit over an hour, a video I've just posted few days ago, Saturday maybe, so go check that out, and we talk about all of the rookies. If you're unfamiliar with Matt Waldman, just Google him. He's a scout, he works for Football Guys. He's a writer as well, and a lot of, scouts buy his rookie scouting portfolio, so, he does know what he's doing. He's been doing it for a long time, but yeah, we talked about a lot of the 2024 rookies that everybody's been talking about. Sleepers, if we're looking at, like, wide receivers, I mean, Jalen Coker is my deepest one, but, like, I'm really high on Malik Washington, Burton, Walker, Polk, McMillan, Wilson, Roman Wilson, Baker, Pearsall are up there now, so they're not even considered sleepers now. If you're talking about running backs like Rasheen Ali, Kamani Vidal, Olave, Blake Watson, Isaiah Davis, Dylan Johnson, Cody Schrader, like, those are a little bit deeper guys. But we are gonna wait till this NFL draft comes, and that's gonna tell us kinda who we should be kinda taking stabs on. We'll see where some of these guys go and where they get drafted. Yeah, I don't like either of them. I don't like either of them, but we'll see where they get drafted. I mean, typically, quarterbacks outside the first round are rare, second round even, or, like, so if it's outside first or second round, like, I'm not touching any of those guys. Do you wanna hold on to any of those guys and pick them up, like, later on in your rookie drafts if you've got deeper rookie drafts or you just have the space on your roster to hold some of those guys, like, it's fine to hold them, but I don't really have hopes for either of those guys. Obviously, it depends on what happens in the real draft. Should I think about QB at one of my 3 picks? My QBs right now are Love, Rodgers, and Bryce Young. Yeah, you could always look at QBs. I mean, well, you had picks in the later first, so not necessarily. It just depends what quarterbacks get drafted. I mean, if there's quarterbacks that fall, then yeah, you can take a stab, but it just depends on who's there. You know, if they don't get taken in the first round of the NFL draft, I'm probably not. I mean, unless it's like a Levis situation where it's like early second. Like he typically went in like the early second of rookie drafts, like late first, because he got taken in the second round of the NFL draft. I'm probably not live drafted. I don't know for sure yet, but no, I don't think so. I'm probably not going to be Thursday, not tomorrow. Yeah, I know what you meant, bro. Isaac Garendo, Dylan Lobb as sleepers too. I might post on Thursday instead of just being live. I like Isaac Garendo and Dylan Lobb as sleepers too. Yeah. Yeah, Garendo killed the combine. Some team is gonna give him some kinda opportunity. Hopefully, he can find some kinda role. But the draft, I mean, I know we said, like, the RB draft, it's kinda sucks for running backs, but it doesn't necessarily suck. There's just no, like there's no Breece Halls or Bijans. I mean, can Jonathan Brooks be one of those? Maybe. Can Benson be one of those? Maybe. My money would be on Brooks, but after that, it's a whole bunch of, like, RB2s, RB3s, flexes, like, at best bets. Like, I don't think anybody is coming in and, like, taking over anything. Could there be situations that happen where guys get put into that workhorse role? Yes, but for the most part, no. A lot of just kinda guys that hopefully we can fill in the flex or RB2s. There's not a ton of RB1s anymore. There's not a lot of workhorse guys. We're filled with all, like, RB2 committee players nowadays at the running back position. Jalen Wright in Green Bay to pair with Jacobs. I could see that. I could see that. That wouldn't be a bad idea. That would not be a bad idea at all. I wouldn't mind that. There's no running backs going in the first for sure. Like, who winds up going in the second round, right? At running back. Is it Benson and Brooks? Like, you've got like who needs running backs here in the second? Like, I mean, the Panthers at pick 33, Cardinals at 35, the Chargers at 37. Do they take one? Or are we going later down? The Giants at 47, Cowboys at 56. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see when the running backs go because there's a ton of good running backs, a ton of good wide receivers, right? With all the receivers, does that push the running backs further down where a lot of teams are going wide receiver or even just other positions at that point? Doug, what up, Doug? Net crack time. What's good, Doug? Let's see. I had another question, which was what is the value of the 102 in Superflex, and what can I expect to get in return? I mean, the 102 is valuable. You're talking about one of the top three receivers, one of the top quarterbacks. Um, so it's crazy valuable. That should get you in the range of any of kind of the top wide receivers of like the Amon-Ra's, the CDs, the Chases, the Jeffersons. That should get you in the conversation. You're gonna need more than that, but that at least is like a start. And is it even worth it to even buy one of those guys if you can end up with one of these top three wide receivers in this particular class? So for the 102, I mean, can you go get a quarterback? Can you go get a proven quarterback, right? Can you go get a Justin Herbertish, Joe Burrow, one of those guys? I mean, you're talking about Caleb as like the 101. After that, like Jaden Daniels, May, JJ, right? Do you want to take a chance on one of these guys if you can go get yourself a proven quarterback? So that's another option to explore as well. I don't know what you particularly need for this particular team, but you definitely want to shop it around, like see what options are out there. You don't know what is possible. Do you need one of those? Do you need a wide receiver? You know, is your team good where like you can use a tier up right now? Right? Do you want to spend up and go get one of the stud wide receivers? Do you just want to take one of these young rookie wide receivers? Or again, do you need a QB? Do you want to split this into a few more pieces? Can you move back to the 105 and pick up another first on top of it or some kind of asset, some kind of piece? You got plenty of options that you can do with the 102. So I would shop it around for sure. You know, can you go get a Puka? First two rounds, Cooper, Dijon, Christian, Edger, Cooper, Junior, Colson. Okay. Yeah, Hammer would probably agree with you there. I don't care what the Packers do. This first round is like that's just like the rush we've been waiting for. Like we haven't had anything happen. Like this is the first thing that is going to happen that is going to uh like shake shit up. Like all rankings are going to be different now, right? We've got all the rookies coming in. Like who does that affect? What veterans does it affect? What other young guys does it affect? Has this affect Dynasty? How does it affect our rookie drafts? How does it affect our startup drafts? Like, there's so much that's going to change after the NFL draft. I mean, what's the wildest thing that could really happen? T. Higgins and Ayuk, I think, are the two guys that it's possible these guys get traded. Like, what if the Bengals just are like, fuck it, we're taking Brian Thomas in the first round, and then they go and just trade T. Higgins away? DeGene in Atlanta if they trade back. Packers have always done a pretty good job. Packers have. I mean, for all the great they've done with quarterback for a long period of time, I mean, we did talk about that with, on the Matt Harmon interview. Like, he talked about, when you sit some of these guys, like we've seen it, they if you can develop some of these guys, they can be successful. We just don't have patience nowadays, especially owners. I don't think we need wide receiver either. No, you guys got a ton of wide receivers. You definitely don't need wide receiver. I give up 102, 301, 306, and Aaron Jones and get 201 Tank Dell and Gibbs. What do you think? I'm taking Marvin with the 101. Is this Superflex? Superflex or 1 QB? I can't remember if you said earlier or not. You're giving up the 102, the 301, and the 306, and Aaron Jones. So a bunch of nothing. You're getting the 201, you're getting Tank Dell, and you're getting Gibbs. I mean, if you want Gibbs and you have the 101, okay, so you have the 101, so you're getting Marv. Okay, it is super flex. Mm, who's your QBs? I'd rather just go. I'm not. I don't want to pay that for Gibbs. I mean, like, I'd rather just go Caleb. I mean, it's not bad. Like, it's not a bad trade. It's just that, like, that's Caleb now with the 102 there. Like, so you're talking about a quarterback. Like, I'd rather almost just want to keep Caleb, wait for the value to go up, and then you should be able to trade him for a lot. Would this be the type of deal that I don't know, Gibbs, Tank, and 201? What's the rest of your team look like before you make a trade like this? Baker, Rogers, Howell, that's your quarterback room? Nah. Nah, you gotta take Caleb, dude. You're not buying Gibbs. Taking Marvin and Caleb with a Baker, Rogers, and Howell quarterback room, super flex. No, we're taking Caleb. Taking Caleb. We'll buy some other running backs. Mm. Wicks will be wide receiver one. We shall see. I was thinking taking Caleb as well. Yeah, you have a chance to get a top quarterback. Like, use that opportunity. You don't. You have Rodgers and Howell's not even a starter. Rodgers, we don't know how long he's even going to play for. He's even going to finish the damn season. Like, you can't bet on that. Like, Baker's okay. He's fine, but you can't rely on Rodgers. RB is Hall, Kyron, and Chubb. Wide receivers Evans, Judy, Pittman, tight end McBride. Yeah, you're taking Caleb, I think, without a doubt. You already got Brees and Kyron. There's no reason to go and buy Gibbs. Like, there's no reason to do that. So you're good with Kyron and Brees. You got Evans, Judy, Pittman. I mean, I don't particularly love the wide receiver room. Like, you've got Pittman. Can you come off of one of those running backs to get yourself a top wide receiver? Can you trade, Kyron? I'd rather keep Brees. Can you trade Kyron for a top wide receiver? And that's what I'd be looking to do there. Move off Kyron, get yourself a top 15-ish wide receiver if you can. 206, 209, 211 also. Yeah. Kyron in a few seconds. Well, what can we get? How high can we get at wide receiver? Judy in the seconds, tier up. I'm okay with keeping Evans if you want, but yeah, I think you need to definitely go Caleb, man. That's gonna make your team solid. Mm. Yeah, appreciate everybody coming out. Throw any questions you guys got in the chat. Dynasty questions, trade questions, draft questions, rookie questions. We've got literally 2 days. 2 days to the draft. What crazy shit is about to happen? Just here for the vibes. Appreciate you, Sam. That's fine. You want to hang out just for the vibes? I appreciate that as well. The guy I'm looking to trade with has AJ Brown, DJ Moore, Amon Ra. He wants Kyron. Awesome. Fucking easy. What would be a fair package to do? AJ Brown, DJ Moore, and Amon Ra. So, particularly for some reason right now, AJ Brown, people are just down on whatever. He's getting older. So what? So he would probably cost the least. I don't know. I mean, you can try with Amon Ra first. Like, this, what I would do is probably try and get Amon Ra if I could, and then like be like, all right, then try and settle for AJ Brown. Like, if you can't get Amon Ra, but make it like Amon Ra's the guy that you want, and then even though you kind of are going for AJ Brown, but anyway, Kyron. Let's see, what was the rest of your team? What can we add with Kyron? You had Kyron in a bunch of seconds. I don't know if that gets us all the way up to Amon Ra. Maybe that gets us to AJ Brown. Who else was on the squad? Let me see if I can get back to your squad here. Did you put in most of your team or no? I don't think you put your team in here, did you? All right, here we go. Chubbs, Evans, Judy, Kyron, Judy. Shit, might cost you like Kyron Evans. Can you go get Amon Ra? Just an idea. I'd throw out anything like that. Try and keep Brees if you can, but yeah, I would try and give up Kyron. All those guys are tradable on your squad. I mean, you have McBride. Like, what tight end does that guy have? Like, can you tear down a little bit? Is it a tight end premium? Can you tear down a tiny bit? But does that help you get the Amon Ra, like, for whatever tight end he has? Like, you've got some options to play with, so play around with it and then start the conversation and see where it goes from there. Try Amon Ra first. If not, then you go get AJ. AJ is, I'm gonna guess AJ probably what you wind up ending up with, and I'm fine with that. Need to restock Thursday. Oh, Sam, that hurts, man. That hurts. I know that feeling. Is Hawkinson on track to play week 1? I don't think he's on track to play week 1. I wouldn't expect him to play week 1. I wouldn't expect production for, the first half of the season. Hopefully the second half of the season. Hawkinson's a good buy low in Dynasty because he's hurt. Like, people just don't want him. He's falling down the rankings a little bit. We've got all this, like, Kincaid. There's no one else on the Bills right now. We've got Kyle Pitts now with Kirk Cousins. So a lot of other guys are being talked about, and Hawkinson is not. So he's one of those guys that you can try and buy low on. Try and pick up some future picks on top of a tier, to a Hawkinson, to tier down to a Hawkinson, or tier up to a Hawkinson. Snagging Marvin with 101, Caleb with 102. It is wise to try to go to DJ Moore for the combo at all. Yeah, but I wouldn't force it. Like, would you rather have Amon-Ra or DJ? Like, I'd rather have Amon-Ra. I don't, even though the stack is nice, I mean, he still won Amon-Ra. But we'll see. But we'll see. You could take any of those guys. I mean, if it's just DJ Moore, like, is it just more like Kyron straight up then? Like, can you, like, I don't know how that manager's gonna feel about DJ Moore, but that's why you got to start the conversation, see what this guy's thinking. Mhm. So you definitely got plenty of options there. What else y'all got? We're a couple days away from the draft. There's got to be some rookie draft questions. There's got to be some trades that you guys are thinking about. Anything in the inboxes? Anything you guys are thinking about doing? Any ideas maybe that you have that you might want to explore in a trade? But yeah, for me, 101, 102 is Caleb and Marv. I have that in 2 leagues. That's exactly the way that I'm going. And we're gonna see what wide receivers get drafted in this first round too, right? There's a lot of good teams that need wide receivers late in that first round, right? The Chiefs. I wouldn't like necessarily be surprised if the Ravens did, but the Lions could use necessarily a wide receiver. The Bills, right? Cardinals are over there at 27. Right? The Cowboys are at 24. Steelers at 20. Jacksonville at 17. Cincinnati at 18. Those are 2 teams that could take wide receivers, possibly. But the Bills, we're all looking at the Bills right now because they have no wide receivers. So who are they going to take, or who are they going to trade for, more or less? And that's why the Ayuks and the Higgins are interesting, because does Buffalo just go in with a bunch of like rookies? Are they just pulling like what the Chiefs did? Like, all right, fuck it. We don't need our best wide receiver. Like, Josh Allen could do this. Let's just get a bunch of dudes over here. I don't know. Cards should take wide receivers. Yeah. There's a ton of listen, there's a ton of guys, especially wide receivers, running backs. There's a bunch of guys that we like that are gonna go to shit situations. Like, the situation is just not gonna be good. Somebody's gonna go to the Eagles, and we're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Like, they got Devonta Smith, they got AJ Brown, and now they got this wide receiver that we loved, and it's not gonna be good. It's just that is going to happen. Now, what guys are those going to be? We'll see, but we'll get a lot clearer picture, obviously, in a couple days. Yeah, Atlanta, like, what if they draft a wide receiver? Chicago. For Chicago, like, yeah, that hurts DJ Moore, right? We've talked about that, I think, a couple weeks ago, or within the last week or so. We've talked about how that can hurt DJ Moore, like his fantasy value. Like, what if they go get Odunze? Now you've got Odunze, you've got Keenan Allen with that, and DJ Moore, right? Now you're in almost like a JSN situation, almost like all over again. You got like 2 top guys in front of you, right? How is that going to hurt DJ Moore? How's that gonna hurt Odunze? Like, Odunze might fall at that point, and I love that. Like, I mean, how long is Keenan gonna be around? We don't know, but You're right. There's a ton that can happen, there's a ton that can change, there's a ton that can affect other players. Geeked Out, what's up, Geeked Out? Cousins, Minshew's are my QBs in Superflex. That's not great. But Chubb, Eckler, Hall, Jacobs, Mixon, Pacheco, Gabe Gabe Davis, Judy, Deontay, oh boy, Moore, Curtis Samuel, Devonta Smith, Curtis, Sutton, Watson, wide receivers, Ferguson, Laporta, likely. You got Ferguson and Laporta. Why? I got 202, 205, 303. You need, like, a lot. I mean, this isn't a team that can win, and you just have a bunch of guys that just the value is just not there. You have a bunch of, value in RB position, like Chubb, Eckler, Hall, Jacobs, Mixon, Pacheco. That's just Gabe Davis, Judy. Like, it's hard to, like, nobody wants Gabe Davis. Probably nobody wants Judy. Deontay, maybe. Curtis Samuel, Devonta Smith, Courtland Sutton. We talked earlier about someone that had a bunch of second-round picks. Like, can you split up the 202 into a few pieces? Can you split up the 205 into a few pieces? Just some more shots, some more seconds. You've got Jacobs. You need to try and move off of Jacobs. All these running backs got to go. Like, they all got to go. So I'd be trying to get rid of all of these running backs. You need to blow up, like, everything because you can't win. Maybe you can still pull off, with some of the value you have. Cousins, Minshew, they gotta be sold too. I mean, all these guys are pretty much have to be sold. What can you package together? I mean, Breece Hall, you should be able to get easily, like, some kind of first. Who needs a running back? Look at all the teams in your league. Who can use Breece Hall, and what do they have on your team that can help? Do they have some picks? Do they have some, do they have some wide receivers maybe? But you need to transfer that value over to wide receiver. That's what I would do. Or quarterback. Can you get a quarterback? Like, I mean, Herbert, right? That's down right now. T-Law is decently cheap right now. Tua even, there's a few quarterbacks maybe that you can try and get. Who can use a Kirk Cousins right now? Check around in your league. Who needs a QB2 right now? Or who can use like a good QB2? Like, can you go out and get some kind of Bryce Young? Like, does that quarterback, would that team rather have Kirk Cousins? Like, I don't know. Just you got to be creative. Look at some of these other teams. Who needs some of these players that you have? And then you need to attack it that way. Because I could sit up here and say easily just go and get a first, an early first for Breece Hall, but all those teams that have early first, they might not need a running back. So, you need to see who needs these players and then attack what that team has that can help your team. You wanna build up as many wide receivers as you can, as much value as you can so we can kinda adjust and put it in the right places because you just have a bunch of RBs that are pretty like, they have pretty decent value. Mixon, Pacheco, I mean, Jacobs. Like, all of those guys, can we somehow get first? Like, Breece, you should be able to. Can we do Jacobs and Deontay and get some kind of first? Keep adding on. Like, who can use some of these guys? Who needs some of these running backs? Same thing, Mixon, Pacheco. Can we combine any combination of that with Judy, Samuel? Devonta Smith is, like, the only, like, valuable wide receiver you have right now. Can you somehow get a first for him? I don't know how high we can go with the wide receivers coming, maybe 106, 107. Maybe then we can split that, or can you just down tier from Devonta Smith and pick up some kinda second? Like, can we get maybe like a DK in a second or something like that? We just need to try and accrue value, accrue picks so that we can try and, fix this situation because you don't got QBs right now, you're not winning. You got Ferguson and Laporta. Like, I'm fine with keeping Ferguson, trade Laporta. Like, I know it sucks. He's valuable, right? He's one of the best. tight ends, but is that gonna help you in this particular situation that you're in? Like, probably not. Can we get a quarterback? Can we get a wide receiver? We need to shift around some of this value so that we can make your team, better to compete right now. So you got plenty of options, but go out there and look, like, who has an extra quarterback that can afford maybe to give up their 3rd quarterback? Who's Lamar's number 1 target if they draft rookie like Odunze? I don't think it's possible for them to unless they obviously wind up trading up, which I don't think they would do, but, Odunze would probably be the target. I mean, you still have, Mark Andrews there, so, I think Mark Andrews is absolutely, like, the target. They run through Mark Andrews, so Odunze would probably be the number 2 at that point, but Andrews is getting a little bit older too, so we shall see, but I'd still put my money on Andrews, like, right out the gate, but for the long run, probably Odunze. Here's Diaz with some advice on it. Geeked out too. You hand to grind the have to grind the edges, get into every DM, and actually have the combo. Yeah, yeah, you got to. People will talk to you. Like, you'd be surprised. I mean, some people won't. Some people never do, but there are people that will. That will talk. You have to have good relations. Like, I was talking to somebody else the other day about this, and it's just you have to have good relations with some of the other managers. Don't be arguing with them in the DMs over, what they feel or what they're sending. Like, they send you a bad trade, like, so what? Whatever. Don't take it to heart. We all start off with bad trades because we want to have the combo. I need to see where you're at because everybody's a little bit different. 310 or Damian Pierce? Oh, jeez. I'd probably take the 310 at this point, unless injuries happen. I ain't worried about Dameon Pierce, so give me another shot. Oh, yeah, for it would be Odunze over Flowers, yeah, yeah, it would be, yeah. If you're talking about just those 2 players, yes, it would be Odunze over Flowers. I think Flowers is good, but he's not like a number 1. Odunze kinda can play all over, inside, outside. They're doing a lot of, like, short stuff to Flowers. Odunze kinda gets down the field a little bit, but I don't think that's happening, so, that is one destination I don't think will happen for Odunze, but never say never. But before I get off, guys, I got a couple more minutes. Let me know any other questions you guys have before I hop off here. But yeah, this draft is going to be it's going to be crazy. Excited for the first round. Excited for the quarterbacks. Excited to see what happens. Excited to see what happens because all this it means so much for our rookie drafts, right? And we're gonna have to think quick because boom, weekend comes and we got rookie drafts. But yeah, imagine all 6 of these guys go, like, in the first round, like, 6 quarterbacks. I mean, for our super flex drafts, like, that's nuts. Would you sell Chase for the 103? No, I wouldn't sell Chase for the 103. Like, I want more. I need more than that. I sold Chase, in 1 league, I just needed more assets. My team wasn't that great. I could use another quarterback because I got Will Levis as my QB2, but I sold Chase for Devonta Smith and the 105, like, before he even got the contract. I'd want more than just the 103. I bought CD for a I probably paid too much for CD, but I had the assets to do it. 103, 108, and a 203 in one league for CD. Oh, neck is hurting. Shot the dude a message to see what type of interest he has in Brees. He has Bijan too. I'm gonna see what he wants. He's got the 104, 105, 106, 107, 109, 111. Okay, so yeah, he's got a ton of picks. Maybe he can burn. Does he have quarterbacks? Like, does he need some of those early? Like, that will help you. Like, can you get a couple of a few of those picks? You get like a 104 and 106. Like, shoot extra, like too much. This way he can come back from that and counter it. But check his team and see, like, does he need a quarterback? Like 104 is like the range right there. But can you pull off more than that? What picks did you have too? He has yeah, you could do Laporta too, especially if it's not tight end premium. Like, can you do the 104? Just send it for the 104 and the 105 and just see what happens. You also have picks, I think, right? You have seconds, so you could throw in like a second on top of that and get 2 early picks. Like, if you can fix your QB situation like that somewhat, or get one of those top wide receivers, like, you got plenty of options, so follow me on Instagram and, message me, and we'll see if we can see if we can work something out for you. But before I get out of here, I'll give you guys another minute or so. Throw out any last second questions, before I get out of here. 2 days, ladies and gents. We got 2 days. All he has is Jimmy G. Alright, so he needs quarterbacks. Shit. He definitely needs quarterbacks. But he's got a ton of picks, so you can still send it out and just see what he says in return, but, like, see what he's thinking, because that maybe just can start the conversation to lead to something else. But alright, guys, let me get up out of here. Appreciate everybody for coming out. I will see y'all next week, Tuesday, and by that time, we will have the draft wrapped up. We'll have rookie drafts to even look at that point, because we should have some rookie drafts done over the weekend, so by Tuesday, should have some rookie drafts done that we can take a look at. Keep an eye out on Saturday for Dynasty rankings. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Dynasty Life Fantasy, right there in the corner. Send us your rosters if you want roster reviews. We're gonna do something a little bit different with roster reviews because I'm getting like a ton of them. So we're gonna give people like 20-minute segments. If you want a roster review, just hit us up. We're gonna do that a little bit different now because there's just too many to do. But yeah, appreciate y'all. I'm out of here.